Hi folks, a while back I had the opportunity to buy these redwood offcuts, and I thought these would be perfect for an outdoor project, some smaller type things. And the first one I'm going to work on is a Chicknic table, so we're going to make that today. And along the way, we're going to make some jigs. And these will help make the process a lot easier to build these whenever we're ready. Stick around and let's learn together. Now, I'll be perfectly honest, I'm starting this project without any plans. We all know what a picnic table looks like, so I'm going to figure it out as we go. So I have no SketchUp, no hand drawings, nothing to go off of other than we know what a picnic table looks like. So we're going to learn as we go. There'll be some prototyping involved, and then we'll figure out the right dimensions that we need. And ultimately, I hope to make some jigs so I can recreate those once we figure out the right dimensions. So the first thing I'm going to do is figure out the overall width of the tabletop. Now we're going to cut these down, but just looking at the width of this, I think this is probably a good width. I think 3 might be too much, although I do like the looks of that. We're going to do 3. So the box of wood I'm working with has all different sizes. They're just offcuts. They can be as big as this and as small as this. So I have to decide which piece to use for what part. It also factors into how big I can make this table. I'm not picking the largest piece and calling that my top because I'm limited in the number of large pieces. A lot of the littler pieces will be used for other projects. For example, I plan to make a much smaller version of this for squirrel feeders. This is an offcut 1x2. This is not what I'm going to use, but I'm just trying to get it for scale to figure out about how I would want this table. And I'm thinking somewhere in here. My initial thought on this is about 6 inches. So I'm going to give that a try. So I've cut this down 6 inches from point to point. I'm not sure yet. This might could be just a hair longer. Again, this is just a mock-up to see what it's going to look like. Now I need to figure out the thickness of the table, and this is a 2x4, so I'm thinking about cutting it in half and then using the 2 halves as the tabletop. I'll probably do the same thing for the seat. So with this being the case, I'm going to need a couple of these. I'm going to need 3 pieces for the top, and then I'm going to need some for the seat. We'll figure out how big the seat needs to be, but I'll go ahead and mill them up now.
So to start milling this up, I need to resaw those cutoffs. So I'm using this 3/4 inch setup block to figure out how far my fence needs to be, or at least to get me started. I'm actually going to cut this piece as a test, and I want to make sure I have 2 even halves. Now it's a Chicknic table, so it's not too vital, but I find that it's just a little bit off. So I'm going to do a little tap tap there, and we'll try to dial that in. And then I'm going to cut another piece just to make sure. And then once I compare the two, everything's looking good. Now I can go to town and I can start resawing a bunch of these boards. Not all that I have, but a whole bunch of them. Then I take a little bit of the sawdust and I package that up. That's always good to have for later, because if you ever have to do any nail patching or anything, you'll have the dust mixed with glue. I thought ripping these boards in half might give me a good width to use both for the seat and for the legs, so that's what I did. Of course, I tested this to make sure I could get them exactly in half. But I took a lot of the stock that we had just resawn and went through and ripped them in half. I then decided I'd make some 1-inch pieces, and that would be for the top lip and possibly some other areas I haven't figured out yet. So I went ahead and milled those up and cut several strips of those. Now, I'll mention that I've come to the realization that all these parts are going to be 3/4 inch in height. And that made things a lot easier because I could just go through, resaw the boards down to 3/4 inch. And that gave me a whole bunch of stock that then I could rip down to whatever dimension I needed. So this is what I ended up with. A whole bunch of 3.5 inch of various lengths that I could mill down further if I needed to. Then some 1.5 inch, and then the 1-inch boards. Now this is way overkill for this project, but I wanted to have extra boards for other projects too, and mistakes, which you'll see later. And my dad came over and we started sanding up a bunch of these pieces. Now it actually helps to have 2 people with this operation, because as one's feeding them through, the other can be taking them off. Sometimes it's difficult to feed them and take them off at the same time. Now if you don't have a drum sander, don't worry about it. You can use a hand sander, piece of sandpaper, or don't sand it at all. It is for a Chicknic table after all. With all the sanding done, we can move on to cutting these pieces to length. Now we're still going to figure some of this out, but we know we want 6-inch legs, and that's what my dad's working on. And I'm laying out for the top. I decided to make that 16 inches. We'll see how that looks here in just a minute.
Perfect.
Once we got our assembly line work done, we were ready to move on to making the jig. So I'm going to pull out a piece of plywood here and get started on this multifunction jig. Now this jig is going to evolve as we go, and it's going to serve quite a few functions, so stick around for that. But I'm putting this piece on here to establish a reference point for the top of the jig. Then I'll take that and I'll line the legs up to that and figure out about where I want those. Then I'm going to take some of my scrap pieces of wood here, and I'm just going to figure out where the top rail will go and then the bottom rail. And those aren't cut to length. I'm just trying to figure out the spacing at this point. And I like that. So we're going to go ahead and lock in the legs. So some of those little scraps that I had from the earlier ripping, I'm going to go ahead and take those and use those as guides for where the leg's going to go. Now, for proper use of this jig, it's important that those guides have a lower profile than the legs themselves. You'll see that coming up here in a minute. Now it's time to figure out how long we want that bottom brace. This will actually serve to hold the seats also. What we came up with was 16 inches, which also happens to be the same length as the tabletop and the seat, as we'll see in a little bit. That's convenient for making future tables because when we're milling the pieces, we can go ahead and set that stop block up and cut all the pieces we need to length. Did you ever notice the inspectors show up at the worst time? Fortunately, this one could be bought off with a quick pet and a few treats. Now that I can get back to work, we're going to put in a few blocks here that will act as guides to that bottom rail. I later realized I only need one of these blocks, so I remove one of them here in just a moment. Next, I make sure there's an even amount of space on both sides of that rail. Then I can put this little block right here, and that will act as a stop that I can register against when I'm putting that rail in place. Here's where I realize I don't need that particular block. Now for the top rail, I just drew some marks and centered it there. It is important to note though that that piece that I'm registering against does need to be taller than the leg, that very first piece I put on the jig. That way it has a stop for that top rail. We're going to do even more work on this jig, but for now we can use it to go ahead and put that bottom rail in. You can just put a little glue and tack it in place. Now we've got a completed side. That was pretty quick and easy. We just need to take care of a little glue squeeze out there, and we can go on to make our other side. Now I thought it might be fun to go ahead and put a stopwatch on this, just to see how long it takes to do one complete side of the Chicknic table. While I sped this clip up for us to watch it, the timer is actually accurate in how long it took, and you can see it didn't take too long. You can knock these out pretty quick if you really want to. Now we're going to take this jig and make it even better. We're going to show how it can be truly multi-purpose. And it basically becomes an assembly table. So we're going to take that little block of wood there, and we're going to pinch that leg in and nail that in place, and then do the same thing to the other side. And those two pieces stand up on their own. Now I do notice there's a little bit of a problem here in that the ends wiggle a little bit. And I want these to be square. So we're going to fix that by putting another block of wood on that end. I didn't show that part on camera, but you see those little blocks of wood there. Now you can insert the legs, register them to the front right there, and we know these are nice and square. We're ready to start connecting these pieces, so I'm going to find the middle of that brace there so that we can do a little cross brace, which will kind of help support these legs. I'm also going to determine how long this brace needs to be, and this will be in the picture at the end of this. Once I find the center, make sure it's all good. Yep, it is. I'm going to further improve our jig, and I'm going to put a little block of wood here so that in the future I can register that cross brace and I don't have to do any measuring or anything. I can just put the board up to that piece of wood and I'll know where it needs to go. Now I did have to use some longer brads for this. And with that in place, we can go ahead and apply a little bit of glue and then secure that brace. Just give it a brad on each side. Then I went back with a countersink just to make sure that brad was set in there well. Then we were ready to start building our second jig. Now what I'm doing is figuring out how much space needs to be on either side of that tabletop.
Thank you.
And then I get a piece of wood that's cut to that dimension. And then we put little wings on it like you see here. And you'll see what this is going to do in just a moment. It's pretty cool. And my dad commented how nice the plywood we were using for the jigs was.
Picked up at Woodcraft when they had scraps. And I'm like, yeah, you can take it. And I'm like, okay. I'll take it.
You take anything you get for free, right?
Because any little jigs and all, you know, because
Yeah.
it stays flatter than regular plywood.
Right.
Yeah, that's that cabinet grade plywood, which is really nice. Now I'm putting a secondary wing on here, and that's so that it's offset a little and will actually rest on the table leg itself. So what I have to do is figure out how far apart these need to be to where that's nice and snug. So that's what I'm doing here. Once I figure that out and I don't knock everything apart, I'm going to go through and put a little bit of glue on there, and I'll secure that little tab. And then we'll have our completed jig, and you'll see how this will work here in just a moment.
So what we're doing here is we're going to use our new jig. This is inset so it rests on these, and then we know what the depth of the tabletop needs to be. So we can set this on here, get this level with across the top, and then we can select our boards. We can come to the edge of this, and we know how deep it needs to be. I'm going to put the knot in the middle, I think. Get the boards aligned the way we want and make sure that's going to work, and it is. So now we can come back and do our glue. I think this is the real thing right here. So I know how I want them. I can come along, put my glue.
Once the glue's on, I'll take my top pieces and I'll line them up to the edge of that jig, and then I'll be able to tack them in place just like that. Then I'll have to go to the other side, put my jig on, make sure everything's lined up right, and tack those in place too. I think I mentioned earlier, but the seats are going to be 16 inches also. That will be the same length as the tabletop. Now, not to be outdone by the other jig, this jig serves dual purpose too. See that square on the left? I'm using that to know where to put the edge of the seat so that it is centered on there. No measuring involved. Pretty nice. And of course, I did the same thing on the other side.
Looking pretty good. It looks good.
The next thing we had to do is figure out how long we wanted the rails that would actually serve as a lip around the top so the chicken feed stays in place. And I wanted to make sure the rails on the long side that you just saw me measuring sat inside the rails on the short side. And the reason for that is basically wood movement. If there was wood movement, it would be across the width of those boards. And I don't want that short rail pushing into the long rail. I'm also not going to connect the edge of these rails together. They're going to be independently secured to the top. And again, that way, if there is any wood movement, we don't have to worry about those joints coming loose. And now that we have everything sized appropriately and figured out, we can go ahead and start attaching everything. So we just use some brad nails on those. I do glue those sides in there and tack them down. And it looks pretty good. And here's where the first big mistake took place. I did not take my time and make sure the marks I was just making were centered over the brace that we're going to countersink into. And because of that, when my dad went to put the screws in, this happened. Yep, cracking wood. Let's hear it again.
Because I can hear it.
That's what I heard it too. Oh man, it split all the way down through there.
Yeah, I can hear it splitting. Because I just realized that part was put on and glued yesterday. That's not coming
That's
off.
not coming off.
The best I can do is take the top off and remake the legs.
So that's what we decided to do. We ripped the top part off, and now I'm going to have to remake the legs and then reassemble. But it won't be too bad because we have the jig. You know, being able to recover from your mistakes is an important part of working on any project. I know because I make a lot of mistakes as I go. Fortunately, we had that stack of extra pieces my dad could use to cut off what we needed.
All right, I got your legs cut again.
So I'm going to run through this real quick, but you can see the complete process beginning to end without any interruptions while I build the jig. And you can see that once you have a jig like this, the process becomes pretty easy. And I'd recommend if you're going to make anything that you think, yeah, I might make more of these in the future, go ahead and consider making a jig. They're just so darn helpful. Speaking of helpful, if you're liking this content, you've made it this far, or if you don't mind, go ahead and hit that like button. If in fact you're liking this, maybe you just enjoy paint and stuck around. I don't know. That, or you're one of those people that like car crashes and you just wanted to see my next mistake. Also, if you'd go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, that would be great. Now, in the time we've been talking, we've almost completely reassembled this Chicknic table. I want to slow down here for a minute just to let you know I'm using smaller screws this time because I had already pre-drilled the top and I really couldn't bring it any further over, so I just went really slow. I also pre-drilled the hole a little bit bigger, so smaller screws, a little bit bigger pre-drilling.
Well,
We did that quick.
But that shows you how fast, if you got your pieces milled up right,
Exactly.
we could pump these
Oh
things
yeah,
out.
you can pump them out quick.
See if we can get it off the jig now.
You might have to sell the jig with it.
And they can be made. We know how now.
Yeah, there's one over there too. You got some up underneath here.
You don't have anything positive to say?
And a whole bunch down there. I'm the QC.
That's Shopcat's job. Speaking of Shopcat, where you at, Shopcat? Yours? He usually comes along and tells me what I did wrong.
He said he didn't need to, 'cause I'm telling you.
He's on break.
I think it looks neat. I really like it. It looks neat.
Pretty good.
So I hit it with the sander to soften the edges there. Now if you don't put some type of UV finish on it, when it gets out in the sun, it is going to gray and weather. So that's up to you. I left mine plain. Here's a quick shot with us and the finished product, but the real test comes from whether or not they'll use it. Henrietta, get off the table. It's not that kind of party. Thank you. And here's the parts breakdown of the finished product. I would say where it says 1 5/8, count that as 1.5 inches. And here's a few shots from various angles based on a 3D model. After I built this thing, I went into SketchUp and created it in there so that you could see it like this. Well, I appreciate y'all watching, and I hope you had a good time and maybe make something fun based on this. Hope you come back to the channel and watch more content later. Thanks.